Everyone wishes to live their best life. We experiment with various ways to achieve that, whether it is through study, competing, finding a partner, working hard, or admiring someone who inspires you. It is the quality of our inner being that does it all, or grapples with fulfilling life's calling. For the past 20 years, the Brahma Kumaris in Washington, D.C. has been a space for any and everyone to enter into and experience one's soul calling. From 1997, the center opened in an old rickety house on Georgia Avenue in Silver Spring, Maryland, where cars and trucks that passed by would shake the space. But when you were inside, it was a peaceful and powerful sanctuary for all who visited. Since then, over 2,500 events, 17 city and nationwide initiatives, 21 awards, 2 meditation museums have served youths, senior citizens, entrepreneurs, scientists, authors, women, interfaith, the disabled, environment, small businesses, arts seekers, and even leaders. Millions of lives have been served, either through social media, the popular America Meditating radio show, or through exhibitions, lectures, partnerships, and programs held in the meditation museums and centers. We look at 20 years of service as a continued journey of love, courage, wisdom, and determination with friends from diverse backgrounds and thought who believe a better world is possible when we make ourselves better human beings. Meditation is an important tool that helps us to gain greater clarity, insights, and inner power so we can make healthy choices and amplify our capacity to live a full life. In times of great anxiety, insecurity, and fear, meditation is an essential practice for everyone to gain stability and inner strength. Just look at what a few dedicated, purposeful, and kind group of committed people have been able to achieve in 20 years. Thanks to everyone who have supported us along the way. And thanks in advance to those who believe in our work and power of intent. Brahma Kumaris Meditation Museums, where peace is inside. Good morning, everyone. I'm Sister Jenna, your host for our new America Meditating segment called Wise-ish. It's your power boost for the morning. It's for you to take your dose for your inner cure. Join us every day, Monday through Friday, from 8:30 a.m. to 8:45 ET. Don't forget, take your dose. See you soon. Shanti, everyone. Welcome to your special evening vaccine, your daily dose for the evening. Welcome to Spiritual Vaccine. I'm your host, Sister Jenna, or I'm your sister in service. I'd rather say that than host. Sometimes I forget I'm not on Wise-ish or America Meditating Radio, and I get a little bit kind of mixed up in my head, so don't take it seriously. In the daytime, I put on so many roles, even though I'm always Sister Jenna at the base. Sometimes I just I have to switch sometimes in a different gear. But hope you're doing fine. And today Santosh told me to take rest, and I was totally disobedient. But he had rest today, so yay! And I was so happy for him because we've been on the marathon for quite a while now, actually. Before lockdown, no?
We've been on marathon before lockdown, so this is like a sprint, they call it, or something. And we're blessed. I want to thank all my friends, Dr. Ivy Hilton, who does a wonderful sound spa in the evening on Facebook, and Dr. Kanu Kogod, Reverend Sylvia Sumter, Lynn McTaggart, Jean Houston, Carolyn Mace, Marianne Williamson, Bishop Carlton Pearson, everyone who's been telling me to get rest and take care of myself. They're so wise. And I do, and I will. I want to give a special, warm, affectionate hello to Maria Scholar, who consistently texts me to say, are you taking it easy? Are you? And I'd like to kind of put everything in context for everyone. This morning, Santosh and I were having breakfast with Sister Geeta, and he was going over a few things about, do you know what we did yesterday? And do you know what we did the day before, and this and that? And he says, nobody would ever believe, what Baba, God, is doing through us. And I said, yes, and I have to say, it doesn't feel like it's exhausting. I've had days where I'm exhausted, and it's because I came off guard here. I stopped sitting in the awareness of being the soul that is immortal, eternal, imperishable, and pure. And I became pretty action conscious, and maybe I might have even allowed my emotions to get maybe a little bit swayed. Either I got a little bit, tense, or a little bit maybe frustrated. And I have generally felt on those days a little tired. And it's not like physical, but it just felt like the soul was tired. And I was sharing with Santosh and also a few folks who worked on the American Meditating Retreat and some other projects that we've been doing, that spirit-wise, I'm really okay. But because of my health opportunity, it has distracted me to some extent. And if that wasn't there, that wouldn't have been an extra, like I have to go get this test, I have to go get that test, I have to go get that test. Then, listening to all these doctors telling you this and that, and then listening to my own gut feeling, what is it that what is it that my spirit says? And my spirit isn't in a state of fear or, whatever. I mean, my only thing is, what an inconvenience. I mean, imagine what my first thought is, about this. But I feel like my gut feeling, and it's an area I know nothing about. Health is not an area that I have a lot of experience in, as I do meditation or spirituality or knowledge or creativity or arts or, putting ideas together or working on sorting out relationships or, that's like, it's like breathing for me. Racing a car, it's like breathing for me. It's not something I put effort in. It's like making pakora. Pakoras are easy for me. Cheese pancakes are easy for me. But this particular area of health is an area I don't really know much about, and I've been blessed for quite a while, and I will hope to be continued to be blessed despite everything, of course, which I know I will be. I will be. But what's been interesting is the overpouring of love and support that I've been receiving, and even from some of you who have sent me so many good wishes. And I just want to pause and say thank you. Thank you so much. I was telling Dr. Ivy today, I'm not really someone who's always on the other end of receiving, because I'm so busy in giving. And in my giving, I'm actually receiving. So they were kind of trying to hit me on my head. Sister Jenna, it's time for you. You nurture, you take care of everyone. It's time for you. It's time to take care of you. And I'm looking at myself and I go, but I have been. I was like, yeah, I am doing that, But on a different level of also taking care of the self, it can be also needed. And I think that's where the whole inner call of wisdom comes in, that when you apply wisdom, it's not generally always connected to conventional intelligence. It's not always connected to the systems of the world. It's not connected to what the facts say. The wisdom comes from a deep place of calm. Your wisdom emerges in you from a deep place of calm, sort of like the drishti, the eyes. So, in the Brahma Kumaris we call drishti, which is a spiritual vision when you go inside yourself and connect to God and just see the other from that loving space within your being. You share your drishti with another, like I'm sharing with you now in the camera. Like you just go inwards and you have your moment with God, and then you say hello, or you say Om Shanti. And even when you make that connection, your whole energy gets quiet, because now it's not your energy of karma that's saying hello or greeting another child of God, but it's God or Baba's energy now activated, alert, alive in your consciousness as you say hello or you say Om Shanti. And I see that in the eyes of babes, of children, of babies, the way they kind of look up at you. It's a kind of a quietude, and they look through you. For all of you who've been mothers and fathers, and you remember looking into the eyes of your baby, and you felt like they looked through you, remember? And they weren't judging you, but just them looking through you, it's like they knew everything about you. It was like there was a communication going on between both of you, and it was a silent communication. Remember, mothers, when you would hold that baby in your arms and you would look into his or her eyes for hours, and it's like a whole message, a whole story was coming up from within you, So I feel like when it comes on to our wisdom, it is coming from a really, really quiet place, a really, really quiet place inside of you. And as a result of that energy of stillness or quietude or silence, you see beyond the veils of illusions. So many of us in the world, folks like ourselves who are awakened or on the journey of awakening, we've often known that there was something wrong with the world, or maybe we should say what's wrong is right and what's right is wrong, because life is like this, But we've often sensed that the movement of the world was out of balance, that structures weren't really serving the whole. We've always intuitively felt that there was something behind the scenes playing out which wasn't being seen. And what we're now witnessing is it can no longer remain swept under the rug or behind the curtain, but now the curtain is opened and everyone's seeing the shenanigans that's been going on for thousands of years. Things that we never thought about, we're now thinking. People are now thinking about the role of religion. I might have mentioned the other day I came across this quote, and it just paused me in my tracks. And it says, "No one in the Bible was white." And I went, I'd never even thought of that. But it's true. And I was like, wow, what does that mean? So what wise does, and what wisdom does, it goes deep and it goes underneath. It goes underneath what is at the surface. It's like an iceberg. You know, you only see 5 or 10% of the iceberg on top, but the real depth of the iceberg is below. That's what wisdom is. Wisdom is your below. It's your depth. It's a part of you that sometimes, even though you know the answer, you won't give it. Because wisdom would know it's not the right time. Wisdom is like, it might have an opportunity to correct your teenager or correct your colleague at work or correct a friend or correct your spouse. And the wisdom, the depth, the real you underneath will say, not now. Not right now. Wisdom has a way of articulating stories that aren't manipulative at all, but come with a benevolent intent to raise you up and to awaken you. A wise person doesn't need a lot of fanfare and distraction or pump of illusion, what we call in Brahma Kumaris the pump of Maya. A wise person doesn't need the pump of Maya to feel smart. A wise person can find value in passing by a flower, maybe the last remaining flower on a bush, and they will actually pause and find beauty and depth and a message in that. What this pandemic has done for us, it has slowed us down to help us to become wiser. And I'm hoping that that's happening for you. And I'm hoping that spiritual vaccine is definitely assisting in deepening your wisdom about the way you need to move in the world. And the way you can feel God's energy want to move through you in the world. I don't hear a lot of people talking about God. And I don't know why. It's almost as if we're afraid of the word. And I don't know why. Because when it comes on to God, there's sometimes this deep sensitivity that gets stirred. I mean, I've sat with my friends who are from the Islamic tradition, from the Judaic tradition, from the Christian tradition, Hindus. And when they sit there and tell me about their philosophy and what they believe, I find it so awakening, you know, that's their passion. And within whatever they're saying, I know I'll find a nugget to help me grow one more step further. Even though I'm a Brahma Kumari, which is a spiritual tradition, and what I love about the Brahma Kumaris, it welcomes everybody to the table. That's the depth of its wisdom. And I think that energy has been ingrained in my spirit. I was on a beautiful program with Audrey Kitagawa from Parliament of World Religions, Victor Laziranis, I know I've done his last name wrong, from United Religions Initiative, Deborah Maldo from Garden of Light, and Michael Beckwith. And we participated, I think, was it 2 days ago, 3 days ago, for World Unity Week. And Michael always knows when I go to California, and if it happens to be on a Sunday that I'm in California, which is rare, but when I am, I'll always take the time to go to Agape. Like, if he comes to DC, he'll come and see me. You know, he'll come by the museum, or he'll call me, or he'll text me, or email me. And I would go to Agape and I sit there, not worried about being a Brahma Kumari or if I'm a member of Agape or not. I'm sitting there as God's child, and God's child is on that stage doing his work. And, you know, I might not understand everything, I might not adhere to everything, but it doesn't matter, because when you have wisdom and self-worth and self-respect and truth, you belong everywhere. You belong everywhere. And I was sharing in our session that, you know, I always tell Michael out of a joke, if I'm no longer a BK, look out for me at Agape and make sure I start teaching for you. And we would crack up laughing like you wouldn't believe. But when there's wisdom, there is, I would say, a very, very deep acceptance of humanity. There's a knowing. There's a knowing about seeing beneath the being, deeper than the being. It's that deep. It has such divinity in it. And you can regain your wisdom after you pass through being a baby. You can regain your wisdom if you start to listen compassionately to one another without judgment. And I'm wondering if either Antonia or Santosh can type that into the comment list. But one of the things that can help you to regain wisdom after you pass your days of innocence as a baby is to listen compassionately to anyone. And in your listening with compassion, you'll always gain more wisdom. Give it a try. Listen to me now with compassion. And see if even whatever Baba decides to flow through these lips of mine, if you don't hear what I have to say differently, if something in you doesn't awaken like 1,000 stars and changes the way you see yourself and the world around you, you know. To develop your wisdom, write your feelings, journal about the deepest thoughts that take place through your mind on a day-to-day basis. So that's the second thing I'd like them to write into the comment list. Journal and write about the deepest thoughts that take place in your mind. And read it back to yourself. And you'd be surprised to recognize how deep you really are when you're willing to actually put on paper your deepest, most intimate thoughts, the ones that you don't tell your friends, the ones that you don't tell your neighbors, the ones you don't tell your spouse. But those deep, intimate thoughts are so connected to a world within you that maybe you don't serve as much. The third thing, meditate. And meditate consistently, which I tell you all the time. Use this word. The C is a very important vitamin C to take. Consistently. Be very consistent in your meditation. Be regular. Don't meditate when you're in the mood But meditate first thing in the morning. For us, we meditate at 4 o'clock in the morning because it's the early part of the morning. It's Brahm Muhurat, where your auspicious thoughts can become a reality. Be consistent with your meditation. That's the third thing to acquire wisdom. The fourth thing, listen to elders. Listen to your elders. Speak to your grandparents. Listen to the wise old ones, just to hear their stories. By listening to their stories, you become the wisdom that they impart on you. So, talk to your elders and listen to their stories. They will make you wise. They will make you very wise. You can be 10 years old, you can be 15 years old, you can be 30 years old, you can be wise at any age. And I came across this young man, Nikhil Reddy, and he's been doing videos on YouTube. And I bumped into one that he did on wisdom and intelligence. And I listened to it and I said, what a brilliant young man he is. I mean, what an absolute brilliant little shining star. And I thought that I'd showcase his video in our spiritual vaccine hour. And I just want, it's young energy. Because even with our millennials, there's some wisdom in them too. And there's something very powerful about the way they're showing up in the world. And the way that they seem to have a natural sense of what is right and what is wrong. And I said, look at that, they're only in their 20s and 30s, and some of us have to wait until we're like 50 or 60 to wise up, to wise up. But this young man he just is so vibrant. And I wanted you to be able to see his program and really appreciate the voice of his innocence and the beauty of his innocence. But before I go to his video, you have to tell me, are you with me in this wise moment tonight? Are you feeling the energy of the wisdom coming from Baba this evening in your spiritual vaccine hour? I love the thumbs up, and it takes time. There was somebody the other day who was sending blessings to Santosh. She says, I can't find a thumbs up, but can I send a strawberry or watermelon? I think it was a fruit emoji, and it was just the cutest thing. And I was like, of course, that's going to be absolutely perfect, absolutely perfect. And so I was just thinking about this word of wisdom. It's something I've craved. I've loved it so much. To be wise, there's a sense like when you look into the eyes of a wise soul, they take you deep. They're very, very still. They're just like still water. A deep soul is like still water. Yeah. So here's Nikhil Reddy, and I hope you just enjoy his sharing on the difference between intelligence and wisdom. And remember, it's a young energy, so he's put that youthful flavor to it, and I just loved it. Do enjoy it.
If I asked you about art, you'd probably give me the skinny on every art book ever written. Michelangelo. I know a lot about him. Life's work, political aspirations, him and the Pope, sexual orientation, the whole works, right? You gave me a shoulder when I needed it. I bet you can't tell me what it smells like in the Sistine Chapel. You showed me love when I wasn't feeling it. You never actually stood there and looked up at that beautiful ceiling.
Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Nikhil. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. I make videos about personal growth, education, and technology, and the clip you just saw is from my favorite movie of all time, Good Will Hunting, and I think the scene beautifully portrays the difference between intelligence and wisdom, and that's exactly what today's video is all about. To me, intelligence is simply a capacity that our species evolved in order to outsurvive and outthrive competing organisms. It's the ability to use the ideas and information that you have, the degree of adeptness with which you can use your mental toolbox in order to succeed in a career, invent a new app, or finish a task or problem set. It's very useful for these things, but it's completely useless for determining which tools you want to have in your mental toolbox in the first place. And that's where wisdom comes in. Without wisdom or insight, people just keep whatever ideas and information get dumped into their brains by their parent, school, culture, or media, and those remain the only tools they ever get to work with. We acquire knowledge from the people around us, from teachers, parents, books, and coaches, but wisdom is fully self-created. It comes from living, making mistakes, observing, and arriving at your own understanding of the world, and it's constantly evolving as you gain more experience. Having wisdom affords you the ability to take a step back from the world, or in some cases, the mental programs that have defined you up until this point, and ask yourself, is there something more going on here? It allows you to ask even deeper questions like, is this a truthful and wholesome way of looking at life? Is this what's really best for me in the bigger picture? And that's what's special about someone who is wise. They aren't necessarily smarter than we are, but they've got the ability to take a step back from an idea and evaluate it from all sides, rather than being swept up in it because of mental conditioning and loyalty to authority. Most importantly, this video's purpose is to convince you to question what has been passed down to you as arbitrary knowledge or tradition. Gain wisdom through your own experience. We are not beholden to the conditioning of our culture, to what our parents pass on to us, or to what our TVs and mobile phones tell us. We are not bound by old ideas, and we are not doomed to repeat old patterns. The eye of wisdom can open up inside of anyone at any time, and when you see that this is true, there is never a valid reason to give up hope. Become very curious about the true nature of things, about the true nature of politics and media and all of the things that surround you that we tend to take for granted. But also be curious about your personal experience, your human experience.
Isn't that young guy brilliant? When I came across him, I was just like, what a sweetheart he is. I just thought that he was so brilliant, and I think that's what's happening with the youths of today. They're rising up in such a way you cannot believe. You cannot believe the way they're rising up. All right, so who is paying attention to my steps and points about gaining wisdom? What was the first one? Listen with compassion, right? Remember? All right, so the more you practice to do that, you'll find that the way the soul receives the information is that it will really select the words and the vibrations that the person is sharing the information with. You will find that the soul will receive it in a way that it has to articulate or make a kind of a sense that it's building your inner resolves. It's really building the energy within you, because wisdom will give you a lot of inner strength. The second point that I gave was to journal and write down your deepest, most intimate thoughts. Remember? You remember that? Okay. What happens when you write your deepest, most intimate thoughts? You gain insights not from your surfaced self, but from the deep part of you, which are the deep sanskars, the deep-rooted sanskars, which are the deepest memories that are running the ship. There are experiences that are emerging in your life when you think that you're in control, but you're really not. Something blindsides you and comes up from nowhere. That's coming from the deep-rooted sanskaras. So when you develop the habit of journaling very daily, and expressing the thoughts that are really in you, you really become a solid individual. It becomes hard to have somebody impress you or take you for a ride, or deceive you rather. It becomes difficult. I'm not saying you can't get deceived. It slips in at times, but it's not that easy. It doesn't happen that easy. And what's the third thing? Meditate, 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 meditate. All the sages and saints throughout time were all meditators. The prophets, the preceptors, the ones who paved paths for religion, inventors, scientists. Believe it or not, people in great positions of power, some of them meditate. Santosh was telling me, and I don't know if this is a great example, but Steve Jobs used to do his best work early in the morning. He would get up early in the morning and meditate. Who's the guy that owns Amazon? He gets up between 2 and what time you said? Well, he gets up early in the morning and he does cooking. And he loves cooking, relaxes him, you know? And you think about these people who are running some of the largest companies in the world today. And they're needing to find time for solace, to grab the right thoughts, to find meaning in how things are running. Just think about it. Being, what's his name, Jeff Bezos? Imagine being a Jeff Bezos, right? Bezos. Or Tim Cook. That's Santosh's favorite guy. Tim Cook. Apple, you know. Or being a Tim Cook. And you are the head of a $1 trillion company. I think he told me Apple passed $1 trillion. Yeah, he keeps data on those things, by the way. And I just want you to think for a little bit. You are either the CEO, the president, the overseer of a company that brings in $1 trillion, that's worth $1 trillion, $1 trillion. And there's a massive production. How much intelligence do you need to have in the running of the company? But can intelligence help you to run that company alone, or will you need some wisdom? They would need wisdom, some silent moment, to be able to keep things in check. You've always got people after you to sue you. You know, you've always got the brand to keep up as a reputation. You're always looking for new ways and new techniques to add new ideas for the company to keep having some fresh energy. You have to take care of thousands of employees around the world. Insurance, government rules and regulations, new inventions. You're going to need wisdom to handle that, not just intelligence. So imagine if you have a littler world than a Tim Cook and a Jeff Bezos, and you've got to take care of your family and your job. Is there enough information as to how to run it? And is it balanced with enough wisdom? So meditation is important to find clarity. And I love to use these examples when you take these large entities, and then you sometimes look at your little world, and you're like, what is that? How does that work? Why am I not able to get along with my neighbor next door? I mean, come on. The guy lives next door. Why can't I get along with him, right? You know, where did my wisdom go? Did my wisdom just flow out of the box? I mean, what? The guy's just 30 feet or 100 feet from me, and I can't take him, right? By the way, that's not true. I mean, I can't take my neighbor. But where does the wisdom go? Where does it go? So meditate. And the last one is listen to your elders. Sit down with grandma or grandpa. Share stories with them. Have them share with you their stories. They've got so much to tell you. And to be quite honest, they are our heroes. They are our heroes. You know why? Because they have a legacy in depth. They have a legacy in depth. All right, let's go into a little bit of meditation now. Ready? Take your deep breath. I feel very wise today, Santosh, and very happy. So take a deep breath today. Take a deep breath. Inhale. Come again. Let's meditate.
Creating a hero. I quieten down and step out of the maze of stressful thinking and doing. I begin to tap into my innate spiritual roots. Roots that are sometimes used, but also very often forgotten, because the dragons of doubt, of anger, of worry eclipse them. I decide to become stronger. I decide to direct my life as I wish. I decide to choose a better way to live. I realize that I can conquer the dragon of fear, who seems to wait in so many corners of my life. I use the weapon of wisdom, the weapon of determination. I become confident, assertive, no matter what, no matter who comes as an obstacle. I will not be submissive or intimidated by anything or anyone fearful, angry, or pessimistic. I understand I have the power of both self-respect and peace to deal with any situation, any person. In my awareness, I remember always my original roots, my original powers. I remember that I am a hero actor within this play of life. According to time and destiny, I have the right to be here and to express what I am. No need to fear the lack of approval of others. No need to fear rejection or criticism. Let me understand and simply have the courage to do. And through the doing, through the action, I learn what I need to learn. I achieve what I have to achieve. I realize that until I act, until I do, I cannot learn. I cannot find well-being. I cannot find fulfillment. I cannot have victory over the obstacles. With deep faith and determined thought, I firmly do what I have to do. I courageously say what I have to say. Gradually, I realize that my greatest weapons to conquer any dragon, whether doubt or fear or passivity, are peace, trust, and especially the power of decision. I need to be clear with myself what I really want from my life. And then next, I choose and decide the course of appropriate action, giving permission to myself to make mistakes, but being willing to learn at every step. I, the hero of this moment, I do not lose my balance through getting entangled in wasteful talk or hopeless thinking. I do not lose my self-respect by getting influenced by the negative vision or words of others towards me. I do not lose my aim just because others do not believe in it, ridicule it. Let me do what I have to do and grow through both success and failure, praise and defamation. Out of fear, I must not become rigid. Let me remain flexible, tolerant, and open. Out of anger, let me not become hard and stubborn, but keep peaceful and respectful to all. Out of selfish ambition, let me not become calculating and ruthless, but maintain a respect for the rights of others. Out of insecurity, let me not be lost in comparisons and competitiveness, but value the uniqueness of each one and of the self. These heroic gestures in each moment of each day conquer all the dragons. No crisis is so huge, nothing is that bad that I, the hero, cannot face and transform. I can transform it. Always I can. Because from my spiritual roots, my soul self, I will always find the resources to meet the needs and challenges of living. I always can, connect to the divine source, to the divine friendship. I can take that power, I can take that blessing, which makes my task easier and more successful. That divine friend that believes that I can be that hero, the hero that creates the well-being not only of the self but of others.
Om Shanti, welcome back. I love Brother Anthony's meditations. They are so spot on and solid. So I'm going to go to our comments list and see if anyone has any questions or thoughts they'd like to share tonight. I'm feeling this beautiful vibe of energy tonight, and how powerful it is to live a life of wisdom, especially in these times where a wise soul will value the small things in life and not run after the illusions, you know? All right, let's see who's out there today, yeah? As you can see, we're partnering with our friends at World Unity Week, so if you're seeing a lot of posts on America Meditating and Meditation Museum, it's because we're in partnership with the World Unity Week, and so we have offered our social media to share the work that they're doing for this week. So feel free to, watch some of the programs or share them as well. But don't forget to tune into your spiritual vaccine hour. Most important, right? Okay. Hi, Mohan Lal. Nice to have you. Darlene, always good to see you. Arlene, nice to have you. Lindia, nice to have you. Your message is extremely great tonight. So they ain't been great all the other nights. I'm listening very closely. Thank you. And take care of you. I love you, Sister Jenna. Thank you, Lindia. We love you too. We love you too. Erica Marie, thank you. You really needed this today. Was Erica who got the meditation light, Santosh? Erica, did you purchase one of our meditation lights? Santosh was telling me, and I believe he's mailing that out tomorrow. I think he said he couldn't find the plug or the adapter, so they've gotten it now. So I think it must be you. So we'll definitely have that mailed out for you tomorrow. Thank you for getting one of our meditation light. Who was that, Anthony? Anthony Strano, Strano. Santosh can type it in the comments field in Facebook. So he was one of our beloved senior brothers. He passed away, I think about maybe 7 years now. He was on tour in Brazil and he passed away. Erica, okay, please don't be upset with us. It's been interesting going into the stock rooms and finding which were the meditation lights and where they all were, because things have changed around, but he's got them and he's going to mail them out to you, and I'm going to be adding things to there for you as a special gift item for your patience. So thank you for being so patient with us. We know we're not like a commercial business, so forgive us for that, but I know you've been waiting, but you're going to love it. You're going to love the meditation light. And I'll add some little special tokens in there too. Thank you for your patience. Really, really appreciate that. Yeah, I know you didn't receive it yet because he didn't mail it yet. And he's mailing it tomorrow. So he got everything together, I saw on Sunday. So he's gotten all the pictures and packs and everything. And so he's going to be mailing it tomorrow, okay? Thank you. Please keep loving us. Don't be upset with the yogis. All right then, so we'll send it out ASAP tomorrow. Okay, any thoughts on YouTube? Anyone has anything they'd like to share today? Everyone's enjoying today? Yes, Nicole, wisdom is imperative. Queen Rising, I just love all the energy you and the team puts out into the atmosphere. My days are scheduled around you. In the morning, meditation, spiritual vaccine. Queen Rising, oh, giving you a big, big, big hug. You know, we held our America Meditating Retreat, and can I tell you, just about everyone in the retreat didn't even remember we were on Zoom. We had transcended being in a box. It was like we had elevated ourselves into some subtle form of light, and we were together, and we didn't think that we were in a Zoom room. It was fascinating. I don't know if anyone is watching the show who was involved with the America Meditating Retreat, but you really felt like a connection with everyone. I mean, there was a deep connection just to the souls, and we had transcended from that. And the first day I opened it up to really set the context. Please don't think you're using this gadget or you're looking in a camera. Just be you. Just settle. Just know that this is for you spiritually, and this is your time. So right. Okay, good. Hugging you back. Great. Love it. Receiving. See, people say I don't know how to receive, so I'm learning. I'm receiving. I'm receiving the hug. Queen Rising, I'm receiving the hug. All right, Mama's Merly today. Such a perfect combination. Very much needed today. Thank you, Tina, that you enjoyed the Merly today. It was very powerful, yeah. Sangeeta Malhotra. Good wishes to everyone. Thank you, Sangeeta. Jennifer Scotland. Love Spiritual Hour. Wisdom-ish. Kirit, you are just too funny. Wisdom-ish. I love it. Yes, wisdom is the best. Wisdom-ish. Beautiful. All right. I'm kind of used to spiritual vaccine. Love you so much, sister, for everything. Thanks a lot, and the entire team. Julio, thank you, Asmita. We always like when you're on, too. We really feel like we know you. Like, really know you. And so we're glad that you could join us just about every day. Julio, it is acceptable to say that intelligence is to the body, as wisdom is to the soul. That's very powerful, Julio Mendoza. That sounds like a wise comment. You're absolutely right. Nicole, yes, you were on the retreat. The retreat was amazing. It felt like we were in the same space with one another. It was refreshing. It really was. Yeah. Yes, Erica, next time we hold a retreat, you'd be happy to join us. That might be a nice idea, to do a retreat for all of you. Why not? Okay. So Queen Rising wants to know, when are we opening so we can transcend too? I have no idea. I have no idea. And give Santosh, I think he deserves another congratulations. He's now been able to transform the camera in 2 different forms, and he's like, you should see him behind the camera. He's like he says, I'm like a kid in a candy shop today, sister. So he's really super happy today. Yeah. I guess we'll start to open up the museum. Maybe we'll start with maybe twice a week, but it'll have to be the days that we feel that folks will come out to. And for now, we don't want to disturb spiritual vaccine yet. Unless you guys are getting tired of spiritual vaccine, then that's okay. Yeah, I mean, if you want us to discontinue, then fine. It's okay. We can do that. All right, so remember the steps to wisdom. Listen with compassion. Journal your deepest, most intimate thoughts. Meditate. And listen to your elders. Because where there's wisdom, there'll be great strength, great power, great stability, great depth. The wise ones will salvage your soul. The wise ones will help you to sustain yourself. The wise ones carry time over, where they will open up an age that works for all. Wisdom will embrace all. It won't embrace some. Wisdom will embrace all. Have a wonderful night tonight. Take care of yourselves, and see you tomorrow. Om Shanti.
If love were a bird, I would stroke her bright feathers. Then I'd watch her fly free, cross the still of the dawn. And if peace were a mountain, we'd gather around her to bathe in her silence, her power, her call. If wisdom could sing, or Some will call me a seeker, one who follows the stars on a quest for the truth. But every believer holds a deep hidden memory of a time when the earth was a flower in bloom. We long to return to that place of still waters and sit on the banks under some shady tree. In my mind, I can see it. I hear it, and I believe it. And love, peace, and wisdom are the three golden